Good morning, everyone. Welcome to all in lecture number 6 of module 2. So basically, we are going to study relationship types. So we will see relationship from view 1, and in next lecture, we see the relationship types from view 2. So in this lecture, we are going to describe relationship types from a view number 1. So if you recall the last sessions, in the last sessions, we tried to understand fulfillment in human-human relationships. And we saw that feelings are at the core of the relationship. And in this whole process, we noticed that there is the prominence of feelings in the relationships. And we studied these feelings as expressed values and established values. So in last sessions, we studied 9 established values and 9 expressed values. Though these feelings are equally expected from all human beings around us in complementarity, yet when we live in different relationships, we can notice that some feelings are prominent in some relationships and some other feelings are prominent in other relationships. So in this class, we will try to understand which of these feelings are prominent in different kinds of relationships. So let's start the lecture and see. So as I told you that in last lectures, we studied 9 established values and 9 expressed values. We studied total 18 values. Okay. So in this context, we can see 3 different kinds of relationships. So basically, many people are living around us, and we can see three kind of age groups around us. One is we can see relationship with those who are elder to us. Another, we can see relationship with those who are around the same age. Another relationship can be seen with those who are younger than us. So you can see 3 kind of age groups around you. So those who are elder than you, like father, mother, paternal grandparents, maternal grandparents, etc. And in the same age group, you can see relationships like brother, sister, husband, wife, co-workers, etc. And with those who are younger than us, we can see relationship like son, daughter, siblings, children, grandchildren, etc. So these kind of age groups you can see around you. If we briefly discuss about the feelings, what feelings are prominent in these 3 categories, so we can see that relationships, those who are elder than us, so we can see with older people, because they have more understanding and more responsible than us, they are fulfilling their responsibility towards me, and we get lot of assistance from them. So we can say in these relationships, the feeling of reverence, glory and gratitude are prominent. It also becomes clear that if we develop the right understanding and on the basis of this we live in a right manner with definite conduct, then those who are younger than us can be seen to develop feelings of gratitude, glory and reverence for us. Similarly, if we see relationship with those who are around the same age, in these relationships we can see or we can observe the prominent feeling would be trust, respect and affection. In the same manner, relationship with those who are younger than us, because whenever we found younger than us, we try to help them, we try to guide them. So feeling of care and guidance are prominent in these relationships. With this background, with this discussion, we can see various prominent feelings in relationships. In these three types of relationships, those who are similar in age, those who are younger than us, those who are older than us. So those who are older than us, we can take help from them. We can take benefit of their experience. This kind of thing we can do with older people. Okay. So relationship in which we are providing help, care and guidance are at the core feeling. And when we are receiving the help, the core feeling would be reverence, glory and gratitude. So in all relationships, the need for trust, respect and affection is always there. So this is a minimum requirement while interacting with any age group of people. So feeling of trust, feeling of respect, feeling of affection is must in relationship. With this background, we can see 7 types of human-human relationships. So we can see relationships with parent, child. We can see relationships with teacher and pupil. Similarly with husband, wife, sibling, friend relationship, guide, colleague and societal relationship. Relationships to ensure undivided society and universal human order. So in this lecture, we are going to study these 7 kind of relationships and we will see what feelings are prominent in these relations. So let's start with relationship between parent and child. So when we live in relationship with our elders, when we live with our parents, what kind of feeling will be prominent in this relationship? So relations like parent, grandparents, uncle, aunt, from both paternal as well as maternal sides come as a parents and children relationships. As elders, they take it as a responsibility for nurturing and protecting the body of their children, along with developing the right understanding and thoughts. So you must have observed around you in relationship of parent-child, the parents try their best. They try best to ensure the nurturing of our body. They try best to ensure right understanding in myself. So it can be noticed that nurturing, protection along with developing right understanding in the children can be done efficiently based on the feeling of care and guidance. So what would be prominent feeling in this relationship is care and guidance. Okay. So if children has the feeling of gratitude towards their parents for the cooperation availed through them, so feeling of gratitudes come into the pictures. Okay. So on the basis of receiving care and guidance from parents, the children develop the feeling of gratitude. So gradually, as the child is able to see excellence in the parents, it develops the feeling of glory and reverence. So basically, if we see the responsibility of parents towards children, so what would be the main responsibility? To ensure right understanding and right feeling, thought in the self of the child, and next one is ensuring nurturing and protection of the body of the child. So the more children observe the elders working for their excellence, the more they have the feeling of glory towards them. They feel proud of them and aspire for achieving excellence under their guidance. So based on this, the feeling of reverence emerges in child. So thus we can say the feeling of gratitude, feeling of glory and feeling of reverence commonly exists in relation of son and daughter, son and parents. Living with these values, children can carry on the duties expected by their parents. So in this relationship, what would be the prominent feelings? Prominent feelings would be care, guidance, reverence, gratitude, glory, these feelings would be prominent in parent and child relationship. So you can take pause for 2 minutes and ask yourself, investigate in yourself, whether are you able to see feeling of reverence for your parents, feeling of gratitude for your parents, and also you are able to observe that feeling of care, feeling of guidance is prominent in your parents for you. So for example, if mother cooks food for you, are you able to see that she is cooking food with the feeling of care? She is cooking food because she wants to nurture your body. Are you able to identify this feeling? Or are you focusing only on the food, taste of the food? So this you can investigate in yourself. So whenever you see any movement in the family, whenever you see any action in the family, they are governing, these actions are being governed by some feelings. Are you able to observe those feelings behind the actions of your parents? If you do, if you observe these feelings, then there will be harmony in your family. So it's an exercise for you. Observe your family actions, observe your parents, and see, are you able to find out the feelings behind their words? Are you able to find out right feelings behind their actions? So this you can do at your home. Let's move towards next relation, that is teacher and student relation. So in this relation, what would be the goal of the teacher? The goal of the teacher would be to develop right understanding in the student. And facilitating the student is the teacher's role. So primary role is of a teacher is to facilitate the understanding of the student. So to fulfill this role, the feeling of guidance is essential. So with the feeling of guidance, a teacher can facilitate his or her student. With this feeling, the teacher is able to fulfill this role effectively. So what would be prominent feeling in this relationship? So one feeling is guidance, which is prominent in this relationship. So the teacher is able to consistently make effort to develop the understanding in the next generation. Similarly, what would happen at the side of a student? The student has a feeling of gratitude for the guidance being received from the teacher. So once a student observes that the teacher is making effort for their understanding, the students feel feeling of gratitude because he is able to see guidance being received from the teacher. So the student also has the feeling of glory and reverence for the excellence the teacher possesses. So in this relationship, feeling of guidance, feeling of reverence, feeling of glory would be prominent. So again, you can take pause for 2 minutes and ask yourself whether you are able to find out these feelings when you study with your teachers. Are you able to see feeling of guidance in the teacher? And also you are able to see the feeling of glory and reverence in you while taking education from your teacher. So if you are able to see these feelings, the teaching process will be smooth. Okay, so you can take pause, observe yourself, investigate in yourself that are you able to find out these feelings in teaching process. Let's move towards another feeling. So this is relationship between among siblings. So this is a relationship between people of similar age, that is same generation. In this relationship, we are primarily making an effort for mutual development. So with the relation, in relation of brother, sisters, what would we do? We primarily make effort for mutual development. we try to improve competence, we try to develop consciousness of our sibling. So while doing so, we work together, helping each other. And for this relationship, there is a need of feeling of trust. There is a need of feeling of trust. There is a need of feeling of respect. There is a need of feeling of affection. So the feeling of respect is necessary as we have many things to do together in the family. We live with the responsibility to focus on mutual development. So if I have more understanding, I am committed to help other. If the other member has more understanding, I am willing to take help from him. With this way, we can live harmoniously. So again, you can observe yourself whether you ensure feeling of respect. You are able to evaluate rightly. Are you aware that mutual development is in the focus in this relationship? So what would we do if mutual development are in focus in this relationship? We will live with responsibility. And if I have more understanding, I am committed and able to help the other. If the other has more understanding, I am willing and able to take help from him. This would happen if we are able to identify these feelings. So many times you will observe you do this kind of things because these feelings are prominent in you. So in this relationship, feeling of trust, feeling of respect, feeling of affection are prominent. That's why you try to improve competence of your siblings. That's why you feel committed to help your sibling, because the feeling of trust, feeling of respect, feeling of affection are prominent in this feeling. Again, you can take pause and ask yourself, investigate in yourself, are you able to identify these feelings? You can ask yourself, why I am trying to make effort to improve competence in this relationship? Because feeling of affection, feeling of respect is prominent in this relationship. That's why there is a natural motivation in you to help your siblings. Okay, so let's move towards next feeling, next relation. Relationship between friends. So in this relationship, we live like siblings. We make efforts for mutual development. So what is the difference between this relation and the previous relation? The only difference is the sibling belongs to the same family, while friends may not belong to the same family. They are from different families. So families are different. But if we see at the level of feelings, we will have similar kind of feeling. It means for friends also, we will make efforts for mutual development. In fact, if there are efforts for mutual development, then our friendship goes well. And what would be the peak of this relationship? The peak of this relationship, the zenith of achievement in this relationship, is being able to live like siblings. So as a friend, if we are able to live like a sibling, this is the zenith of achievement in their relationship. One indicator of friend-friend relationship is that I feel same as my friend is feeling. So we feel the problem of the friend as our problem and make effort to solve them, just like we would do for our own problems. So if our friendship is based on feelings, if these feelings are in the center, then we live like a sibling and we feel problem of my friend as my problem, and I try to resolve them resolve my friend. So again, you can take pause for 2 minutes and ask yourself, have you this kind of friendship? Are you able to ensure mutual development in this relationship? Are you making effort for mutual development? So in friendship, this feeling is at the center. This is a prominent feeling. And with this feeling, there would be a natural inclination in you to ensure development of your friend, to help them in any condition. It would happen naturally. It is happening because the prominent feeling is trust, prominent feeling is respect. So if this is the prominent feeling, then your friendship goes well. Okay. So now let's move towards another feeling, husband-wife relationship. So in this relationship, we have the responsibility to make effort for mutual development. And along with this effort of mutual development, we are preparing ourselves to participate meaningfully in the societal order. So as a husband-wife, we are working for mutual development, and we are also ensuring meaningful participation in the societal order. We are participating harmoniously in the larger order. We are able to see our participation to ensure harmony in the society. So if both have right understanding before marriage, then the main role of the husband and wife is participating in the societal order. So if both are awakened, both have right understanding, both have explored themselves before marriage, then after marriage, their main role would be to participate in larger order, societal order. So husband and wife can make effort for definite family goal. So in this context, if we see, the feeling of respect is primary. So when there is a feeling of respect between husband and wife, there will be transparency between them. It means now they are evaluating rightly each other. So transparency between them, husband and wife, clarity of family goal and making effort for it jointly. This is a prominent. Similarly, the third responsibility would be production of the body for the next generation if required. And while production of this next generation, we are committed to nurture and ensure right understanding in the next generation. So in this relationship also, there are feelings like trust, respect, affection. We have enough scope to live in harmony at all levels through the relationship of husband and wife. So basically, this relationship is a learning point where we can learn different feelings. We can observe ourselves. Are we able to ensure feeling of trust, feeling of respect, feeling of affection with each other? Are we aware of our participation in the larger order? So if we do, if we are governed, if this relation is governed with these feelings, then definitely family live with a definite goal and family also participates in the larger order. Okay, so let's move towards next feeling, guide colleague relationships. So if we are talking about guide colleague relationship, so definitely the feeling of trust, respect and affection in the guide for his or her colleague is essential, because guide is going to guide his colleague, and it can only happen with the feeling of trust, respect and affection. Okay, and for the colleague, having the feeling of glory and reverence for the guide is essential. So at the same time, feelings of reverence and glory are very essential for the colleague. So guide has a sense of complete responsibility and have a good program to execute it, makes plan and chalks out the steps for implementation. And what would happen at the level of colleague? The colleague recognizes the responsibility for a part of the program and helps to fulfill it. There are various roles to be fulfilled, which the colleague recognizes and fulfills with commitment. So there are various roles to be fulfilled, and it can happen with the feeling of reverence, feeling of guidance, feeling of care, feeling of trust. So if these feelings are prominent, this relationship goes smooth. So again, you can pause this video for 2 minutes and ask yourself, are you able to see this prominent feeling in this relationship? If you are able to find out these feelings, and if you investigate, you will find out that these feelings are basically our motivation to guide others. Okay. Let's see another feeling, another relation, societal relationships. So this relationship can be seen between service provider and the service recipient. So why this relationship? Relationship for undivided society and universal human order. So some people ensure policies in the system for the smooth functioning of the organization, and the remaining rest of the people abide by the rules of that system. So as a service provider, it is of utmost desirable to shoulder up that responsibility sincerely, and while continuing this responsibility, treat every member of the organization with justice and equality. So justice refers to seeing everyone at the same level, at the level of purpose, program and potential. So the main role of service provider is to live just and to be organized within and help others to live in organized ways by facilitating a conducive environment so that everyone can live in relationship and harmony. So for this, it is essential to have the clarity of existential order, to have the clarity of coexistence, to have the clarity of interrelatedness, particularly working for society. So living according to the societal laws and providing such an environment to all and inspiring them to live accordingly is the role of service provider. Okay. So whosoever is engaged in participation of any system, whether it is a dimension of health, regulation, education, sanskar, protection exchange, justice preservation, at all places, the service provider has the main role. The main role is to provide such a conducive environment so that everyone can participate in the larger order through various dimensions to ensure harmony in the society. So what is required to ensure these? To have understanding, to have right understanding is at the root of all this. So it is necessary for the service recipient also to live according to the norms established by service provider. So that's why the feeling of affection plays an important role between the service provider and service recipient. In the feeling of absence of this feeling of affection, there is a possibility of exploitation, domination, cheating, etc. So if there are discrimination, then it would be difficult to ensure harmony in the society. So for societal relationship, clarity of coexistence, clarity of interconnectedness, interrelatedness is required, feeling of affection is required, and definitely feeling of trust, respect is common in all relationships. Okay. So let's move. Another very interesting point. What about strangers? We live with many people with whom we are not in any of the 7 types of relationship, as I described it earlier. For example, when we are walking on the road, when we are traveling in bus or train, many people we come across with whom we are not in any of these 7 relationships. So what feelings are required in this situation? Definitely the feeling of trust is always felt. So everyone expects the feeling of trust, at least feeling of trust. So with this, we are able to be helpful to each other to the extent we have the feeling of respect and affection. So in everybody's life, there are many opportunities to help to others. For example, in case of road accident, we see while traveling, accident takes place. So it is quite natural and it is quite expectable that the other person should help us. So if we have feeling of trust, if we have feeling of affection, then it would be quite natural to help the other. Okay. So feeling of trust is required in every relationship. So if there is a strangers, the feeling of trust is always expected. So the feeling of trust is unconditional and uncontinuous. Trust on intention is essential for own fulfillment. So it is easy to see, you can investigate, you can observe yourself, you feel happy at the moment you have mistrust. So with the feeling of trust, we can be helpful in every state situation to everyone. And with the feeling of respect and affection, our participation is even more fulfilling, mutually fulfilling. So again, you can take pause for 2 minutes, investigate in yourself, ask yourself whether do you have at least the feeling of trust for everyone. If you have this feeling of trust, you will be helpful to everyone unconditionally. At least you will have thoughts for helping others. Definitely it is going to depend on situation whether I will help other or not, but at least with the feeling of trust, I will have feeling and thoughts to help the other person. So let's sum up the whole lecture. So basically, we identified 3 age groups people around us. So relationship with those who are elder than us, relationship with those who are around the same age, relationship with those who are younger than us. So whenever we interact with others, some people we find elder than us, some people we find of same age group, and some people we find are younger than us. So these 3 relationships taking in background, we can divide 7 types, we can categorize relationship in 7 category. Number 1, parent and child, teacher pupil, husband wife, sibling, friend, guide colleague, societal relationship. So we studied prominent feelings in parent and child. So feeling of gratitude, feeling of guidance, feeling of affection. Similarly, we studied prominent feeling in teacher-pupil relationship, husband-wife, siblings, friend, guide colleague, and societal relationship, where clarity of coexistence is required, clarity of interconnectedness is required. So that's all from my side, students. So let's meet in the next lecture, and in next lecture we are going to study view 2. So this we have studied, we have seen the relationship, types of relationship from view 1, and in next lecture we are going to see kind of relationship with another view. So have a good day. Thank you very much.